Okay, we go. Hey family, this is a beautiful conversation that we're getting into, and I just can't wait for you to dive into this with me. The meat of this is about purpose. The meat of this is about unveiling. The meat of this is about knowing the God-given gifts that we have inside of us. And we are on a quest. You and I are on a quest. We say that we don't want to sink. We don't want to just survive, but we want to thrive. And whatever we are bringing on the table is a thriving system that we are creating. And today it's going to be one and only Valentino that is going to share their life, his life in finding purpose, in hooking onto God. And I know that it's going to be strengthening us. It's going to stir us up. So come on this journey with us. And in case you have any question, we're going to be able to, come back to you. But just come on this journey with me. I know that it's going to be powerful and mind-blowing. So let's get into it. Yes, so we are the purpose finders, we are the gladiators and transformers and people that want to bring the God-given talents to full use and to be able to bless God's people. And that is where we come in with the different people that have been on the arena for quite a long time, that we have seen, we have admired, we have loved, and now we bring them up close just to know what God deposited inside of them, the journey of maturation and the journey of application and the journey of challenges and the journey of celebration. I mean, it's quite a lot. So I am pleased to announce to you that we have one and only Valentino. Dance with Valentino. I don't know what other names to use, but one of the best dancers around the world, and one that has a meek heart, a humble heart, one that is, the heart after God's own heart. If David was a person in reality, that will be Valentino. And I just love the fact that we're going to get so many nuggets out of this and so many things to learn. I wish we had a dance place here just to start off with
Bahati.
with a spin. I know, but I'm so happy. Like, yes, really happy. Happy will be an understatement for me to say that we get to do this, not just for us, but for God's people. And to be able to stir up their hearts to know that there is a calling inside of you. There is a gift that has been deposited inside of you. And God is not a liar. When he deposits a gift, he makes sure that he waters it to mature and to be able to bless other people. So I know your gift is not yours, and it's ours. And we've enjoyed the fruit of that gift.
Thank you so much.
Personally, I've enjoyed the gift of that fruit. So I know so many of you know Valentino, but I want you to, just in a very brief moment, tell us who you are and what you do, what you love, and yeah.
Viewers of Spirit TV, I'm really glad to be here. Thank you, Bahati, for hosting me. My name is Valentino Richard Kabenge.
Okay.
I'm a Ugandan, I'm a Muganda. Some people think I come from South Africa or Nigeria.
Yeah, you look Black American, you look Nigerian, you look...
yeah, I think it's because of my dancing,
Yeah, because it's quite a foreign concept.
It is.
I know that we have so many dancers, but we've had group dancers and we've had church group dances, and then they phase out with time.
Yes.
But there's a way you're unfazed. Like, you've been on the scene, steady and growing.
Yeah, so I really thank God. It's really not been my only power.
Yeah.
I invest in what I can and where I can, and God comes and meets me.
You let him
and
take over.
Takes over.
Yeah.
Because as I've always said to people, dance was never anything I thought of ever doing. And
really?
It was never.
Like you went to school like a normal kid? And
yes, I went to school. I dropped out of school in S2. Yes, and that's when I started to navigate my life.
But by then you didn't know that dance was a thing? You didn't know you had a gift?
Well, I was just passionate about acting.
Okay.
I was passionate about acting. I started to go to Mariam Dagire's, and that's where I found someone who invited me to salsa social dance places. And as I went there, I just saw people dance, and I loved how they were all living in harmony. And because I remember by that time I didn't have where really to belong, because I was just a young man who had just left school.
Dropped out
of school. Yes. So when you go to this group of people, all that they are talking about is school and the bougie life and all that. When you go to church, because we had a church where we used to go to, and some of the rich kids are happening. So I was just
those
there.
kids, like you're lost. You're at the crossroads.
Exactly. So I was just there, and I remember that day when I reached there, like because it's a couple dance, and I saw ladies come and ask me to dance. I was like, this is interesting.
At your crossroads, someone is asking you to dance.
Exactly, you know, to dance, and it was really interesting, and I think that's what really got me to go back and just be there and feel belonging.
So it's part of something in you.
Yes.
You felt like there was a connection.
Exactly.
It's something you wanted to come back to.
Yes, it sparked something in me. It sparked that whole, belonging. I really felt I belonged somewhere. So that's how I started slowly, and going to that place, dancing on, because it always happened on Thursdays. And then, with time, when I was trying to put my acting together, things weren't happening.
The dance was there every Thursday.
Yes, the dance was there every Thursday. So I used to go to different auditions. I was rejected so many times.
Here in Uganda?
Here in Uganda, yes. And I think part of it was maybe my hair. Yeah, because they used to say, oh, you're good, but,
So you dropped out of school and you started your dreads journey back when you were young?
No, the dreads journey started around 2013.
Okay, that's after you involved yourself in the dance.
No. Okay. That was before.
Oh, that was before.
Yeah, that
so
was
this
before.
Is quite a long journey.
That was before. So,
let me find out, because then that's not just recent. That's quite some time back.
The what?
The journey, the dreads journey.
The dreads journey?
Yes.
Around 2000.
Like how many years?
I think would say like 7 years.
Like 7 years.
Yeah, 7, 8.
But so many people look down on such things. What made you feel like this is something I want to take on and this is part of my identity?
Exactly, with the hair. It was this one time I woke up in the morning and I remember I was watching lots of Nigerian movies and there was this guy I really used to like. It was Pat Atta. And Pat Atta, because personally I also used to have a same feeling about people with dreads, but this is a guy who was really gentle and all that. So when I saw him with dreads, I was like, oh, okay, I would love to try out something like this
something
and I see
different.
how I look. But my idea was just to go and do them for a photo shoot, and then I go back to Valentino, Yeah, so I went and did them and then took pictures. I posted, and when I posted, everyone was like, they misled me.
Oh, you look nice.
Yes, oh my goodness. Well, this is great and all that. So those comments really misled me, and here I am. But
I know, years later.
Years later, I'm happy, I'm really happy who I am.
But you stuck with them even when you were turned down for so many things.
Yes, I did.
And I want us to be able to back this story a little bit. The time before you drop out of school, were you staying with your parents?
I was staying at my uncle's place.
Okay.
I came back at my uncle's place. No, by the time I broke out of school, I was at my sister's in Entebbe Road.
Okay.
And when after some time, I was like, you know what, let me go back to my uncle's place, because, and I went back to my uncle's place, and I stayed there with my cousins. And I started to rear cows around and do home things in the morning when they're going to school. I'm the one left home to take care of the home and all that. So,
okay, so they would go to school, you stay home, and you just didn't feel like a failure. Because I feel like the reason as to why I'm backing this up is because so many people in this generation, they feel so lost, even when they have everything around them. Now, you had nothing, dropped out of school, but you still have a sense of, I don't know, of just living life, like continuously. You're not stopping, not for anything. Anyone would have said, I'm out of school, let me just hook up with drug addicts, let me just look up. We look for the worst things to take up our time, but you go to a dance studio and you keep going back, and then you do your hair for a photo shoot, and then you're just living life.
Yes.
You're not willing to stop at anything or even sympathize with your situation and just throw in a towel.
Exactly. The thing is, it's really not an easy journey.
I know.
It
I
is
know.
not really an easy journey. And I really want to thank my background, you know, how we were raised, you know. We were really conscious about certain things. There are things I cannot do right now because of how I was raised, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so I
very
have
important.
that, is it called intuition or what?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's in intuition.
consciousness
You're
and
very
all that,
cautious
yeah.
about what's happening.
Yes, I am. So, but by the time I left school, of course, there was a time of being lost, you know. You're like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? But I was that kind of person, and I'm still that kind of person who really wants to learn. I want to ask questions. I want to be around people who are better than me, you know. So I was always around those kind of people. I want to ask questions. How is this done? How is that and that? So
the curiosity.
the
in
curiosity,
you would
and by then I think that was the time I really started to really venture my journey into Christ. And I remember by that time there was this song Judith Baviri had released of Nzijukira. That was oof. There was this line saying Jukira wasubizo kumpita basinga nkoyita. So I remember there was a time I was ngamba kuchima bikuta, you know,
yeah, for the cows.
For the cows.
Yes.
And I was just there feeling so lonely, so alone. And I remember I had bought a small radio and a tape of that album, and I used to like play it and rewind it and all that. Yes, I bought a tape.
You're giving
and
me goosebumps right now.
I used to rewind and listen, and that line really spoke volumes, and that's the power of art. That's
as in, you felt like indeed there's a God who hears my prayers and sees my cries.
Yes, because I was just alone, and I didn't know what to do. But when I started to listen to music and gospel music, I started to feel a kind of way, you know, a kind of way, and feel I have a friend that I can talk to any moment, any time, and listens to me. So I could just simply be there and listen to a song and go deep down into the lyrics. What do they mean? Eh?
For me,
personalize
them,
exactly,
own them.
Exactly. I personalized those lyrics, and they really meant a lot to me. You know, that's one of the songs that got me through really hard situations. You know,
my goodness! Oh my goodness! And just knowing that you anchored yourself in God when you could have anchored yourself in anything else. You know, people look for ways of bandaging their wounds and their lack and their sense of loneliness, and they bandage it with so many things that would actually never cause satisfaction. But so when you say that you grounded yourself in God and these songs took you through a very rough patch, you realize that I was speaking at church recently, and I told people that the grace of God functions in a way that when you are weak, you don't need, as coaches we speak about affirmations, we talk about confessions, we talk about all these things, but sometimes when you are at your weakest point, affirmations can never even come through.
Exactly.
But what you need is to attach yourself to a strong thing. You are weak, you attach yourself to someone who is strong, and that person is able to pull you out. And that was God for you in that moment, saying, I'm holding on for dear life to take me through this.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So, and when you talk about that, okay, so you go through the phase where you're taking care of the cattle, you're taking care of the home, you go to the dance studio, because I want to connect this to how you find your purpose, how you get to a place of saying, you know what, I want to keep dancing and keep dancing. Yes.
So, when I went to the dancing, it was just a social dance place where it was more like a club where people come and dance to a piano. For us, we were dancing to salsa.
Yeah.
So they used to give like basic social dance classes before, you know, how do you hold a woman, how do you do all those things, and so they used to just be basics, and then you find yourself, you find your way. So yeah, I remember by then, and I still went on with still trying to do my acting auditions and all that, and I got an opportunity to work with Anne Kansime when she was doing Dormits with Kansime.
Yes.
So I worked with her for a whole year, and after the contract ended, I was like, okay, what do I do next with my life? And that is me trying out different things around acting. And when I realized, I realized that me to establish myself as an actor by that time, to really do something that I can have, because what I really had got tired of is you go for an audition, they tell you they will reach you up, and
They
you
never,
wait.
yeah,
You wait for
never
a
come
very
back to
long
you.
time. So I really needed something that I could touch, I
Yeah.
could, you know, manage, you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
and
was in your control.
that was in my control. And I remember when I thought about acting, there are many people, you need to get so and so, need to get so and so, and that time we didn't have that, some like the internet that's blowing out really so much now. So I remember, but then also
everything was manual, from tapes to even when the social media had just started,
yes,
it was still manual.
Facebook, everything was manual. So I went to a dance place that was at National Theatre, and as I was dancing, there was when a song played, and I stayed on the dance floor and danced, and people commented about how I danced. And trust me, today when I remember how I danced, then I'm like,
what? Like, what was I doing?
What was I doing?
But I kept going.
Yes, but people were complimentary and commenting and complimenting us and all that, me and the dance partner I was dancing with. So I was like,
this could be a thing.
I think this could be a thing. And because I was very much, even when I entered acting, I was very much interested in storytelling. Yeah, storytelling, the power of storytelling.
Yeah.
So as people complimented me, I started to feel a certain kind of way, feel really good when I dance, feel really happy, and more comments still happened. And by that time, that was when a friend of mine introduced me to a show, Dancing with the Stars, in the USA. So I watched, I started to watch, and I really got to learn how dance.
Now you're watching on what? On
on
Katambi.
So she called me to her place, and she had CDs. She had bought CDs, and then I saw them, and I saw how really people
were giving their whole. Their lives
in
were,
the
they
dance
lived for
and
dancing.
And dancing and the power of storytelling through dance, through body movement, and I was fascinated. I was like,
but do you believe that on the journey of purpose, God positions purpose helpers or destiny helpers, like at each point?
It is.
Like, and then he orchestrates every step that it leads to another. It opens up another door. It could be a door of knowledge. It could be a door of connection. It could be, and sometimes you, just like you said, you're looking back, you're like, I could never have taken myself through all those things. Like in your real sense, you'd never have stayed on the dance floor. You'd have shied away and said, everyone is out of the dance floor, let me just go away.
And the song they played was never a style we knew. And that's why all the people went off the dance floor. And it was me and my dance partner. And myself, I didn't know what I was dancing to. You know, it's now that I know the song and I remember it, and I know now the style. I'll say I was dancing to a rumba, but before that, I didn't know what it was. But I just moved.
You felt your body was fluid, and you were just in the moment.
Music took me to a certain place, and that was it. And people, you know, and that was the beginning of it. I felt a really strong connection, and I'm like...
And what really brings me, because then I want to be able to unpack some of these things for the people that are following us and watching this, because so many people try one thing, and if it doesn't work out, they just throw in a towel. So you realize that you touched on to so many things. Your journey started with you wanting acting, and you're led to a dance, but you keep coming back to a dance. That means that there is a part that is not in God's control, the part that we bring to the table as human beings, that I will show up. I will be there.
I will show up.
I will learn this.
Exactly.
I will act on my curiosity, because some of us are curious, and then we sit on that curiosity. Then we're looking for people's validation. What will they say? Maybe they will not like it, so let me not do it. But there is a way, when God is leading you to your purpose, you realize he blindfolds you.
Exactly.
Like, you tend to do things that you would never have done as a person, but you keep doing it, and you don't know what's pushing you to do it. But that comes after availability. Like, here I am, Lord.
You need to show up.
Yeah, you need to show up.
Yes.
Here I am. I'm a vessel. I'm available to be used. So he will blindfold you and take all your weaknesses, take all your shyness, and he will cause you to do things. But what he's doing is, he says that he knew our us before our bodies were formed in our sacred places, that he predestined a future and a good end. But that good end, we don't jump from where we are to the good end. From where we are, we grow in an organic way.
Steps.
But one thing about let me preach a little bit. One thing about God that I have seen on the journey of purpose is sometimes the growth will be incremental. Sometimes he will multiply us. And sometimes it will be a quantum leap. Like you will skip phases that you didn't know you skipped, and then you'll be like, how did I arrive on this scene? Like if it were another person, they would have gone through a lot of things, but there's a quantum leap that God causes you to skip over so many phases and gets you to a place that you never thought you will get.
Yes.
And now when I look at your story, I feel like there were so many applications of addition, just slow growth, and the multiplication, and then there was a quantum leap of, just getting there. So you start dancing, and you're on this level, and then the destiny helper, the person who says, come and watch this.
Yeah, come and watch this.
As in, he's preparing you, or he's giving you a platform that is higher than where you are. Saying,
Exactly.
if you thought you were doing it at the local level, people are doing it at an international level.
Exactly.
And they're doing this in a bigger way. What did that do to you?
What that did to me, one, it made me feel great in a way that I knew other people that are much better, living a better life, are really pursuing this.
Wow.
And with Dancing with the Stars, the confidence it gave me, because this is a show where they bring celebrities who don't know how to dance.
So you signed
and
up.
teach them to dance. So it gave me confidence to know that actually I don't need to be the best. I need to show up.
Exactly.
Because these celebrities were showing up, they didn't know how to dance, and they were teaching, they learned, they were vulnerable. They allowed themselves to be vulnerable and learn and do all that. Yes.
Yeah.
So I started to watch that, and I started to really, get to learn a few lessons from that and all that. And remember, by that time, I'd never been in front of any professional teacher to teach me dance. And that's why I love God so much, because there was a time I became really hungry and I wanted to learn, thirsty,
the hunger.
to really I'm like, God, and all I could say, because I looked around and there wasn't anyone that would give me what I needed. I just went every time on my knees and said, God, teach me how to dance.
Wow.
Teach me how to dance. I don't know how
there's no one. I don't know anyone.
I don't know how that's
but I know you.
Yes, I don't know how that's gonna happen.
But teach me
how to dance.
An honest prayer.
So I used to pray that prayer, and I remember even when I got my breakthroughs in dance, I'd never been in front of a professional choreographer, professional teacher, and.
So when you tell God, teach me how to dance, you realize you're watching all these video tapes that you were talking about.
Yes.
And do you know a person that is purposed for that, whose purpose is locked in that direction? Do you know that you can learn, even from just watching someone else do it?
Exactly.
And you will perform like someone who has been taught.
Exactly. So the thing is, I didn't really focus and see a choreography the way it is from A to Z. But every time I danced, I had imaginations. So it was those imaginations I could be like, oh, Valentin Shamakoski, how does he dance? He does this. He looks there. He does this, So that's how I started to pick up a few things here and there. And and I received my breakthrough. That was Touch My Body, then Jangu Wininwaji, and went really viral. And here I am.
Please don't rush us. Don't rush us. This thing is supposed to be unveiled slowly by slowly in a sweet way. I think I received my breakthrough. What does that even mean? Okay, so we're going to unpack that. I know. Let's go for this break. I know that I'm so much also hungry and thirsty to just take in and soak in this story. But just get yourself a water, get yourself a coffee, come back. Let's go on with this conversation.